Welcome, everybody. It's so good to have you here. It's going to be a really fun day today. We're going to be working on identifying your flow client, just one of them today, and beginning to write some copy for that flow client. So that's going to be super sweet. And I do try really hard to summarize in our emails what we covered in a day. So if it helps you to see that summary to kind of consolidate the learning, strongly recommend. Welcome. Haley's here, Lee's here, Christy's here. You guys, we're doing a little temperature check as people are coming into the room to see how you're feeling so far in the series. So it might be like, super stoked about this part, but this part overwhelmed me, or I'm a really good compartmentalizer. I don't remember what we talked about last time, or whatever the heck. Let me know how you're feeling. Carrie just got her first consult ever last week. Oh, I'm so excited for you. Carrie's in our step-by-step program, which is the starting place for people who are building their online private practice. So that's freaking awesome. That is awesome. Don't forget to go over the free consult script so you're ready to go. Awesome. Okay, guys, let's hear it. How are you feeling so far? We have had 6 hours of training where you have been being taught a lot about marketing. So how are you feeling? How are you holding it so far? Is there anything that feels like a particular obstacle for you? Maybe an internal resistance? What's happening inside your noggin? Share with me in the chat. Hi, Sarah, Teddy, Virginia's here, Alicia's here. I hear you, Haley. I hear you. She says, excited about what I'm going to build, annoyed about money and time wasted on a website so far, but I'll get over it. Yes. All right, Corinne is here. Welcome, everybody. We are doing an emotional check-in to start. This helps me to attune to your feelings instead of attuning to my own of like, I'm presenting so I can get self-conscious and blah, blah, blah. So the more I know about how you're feeling, the better I'm able to tune into what you need. Michelle says, I'm reviewing since I was in the marketing intensive and seeing new things to look at, some things to absolutely tweak and working on adjustments. Yeah. All right, let's see. In the chat, it's allowed me to start dreaming. That makes me very happy. I can't see who this is from, but it says it's really comprehensive. I appreciate you and what you're sharing. I am very glad to hear it. Remember that we have a coaching call at the end of the training today. So as questions are coming up, write them down, make sure that we get back to them, and they can be about anything we've done so far. They can be about side hustles. They can be about the marketing intensive. They can be about material that we haven't covered yet. All of it is fair game. Oh, good. So Teddy said, spent over 2 hours with insurance yesterday. Oh, it's on my kick off the front porch list. Heck yes. The coaching calls are recorded. Yes. Awesome. Okay, guys, let's jump in. I'm going to start by sharing my screen. We are on day 4 of 5 teaching days. I think we have 6 coaching calls. I think that's right. I'll go over them with you. You may want to grab your phone or be ready to take some screenshots today. Both because I'm going to review some of the schedule for you, and also because there are going to be some slides that you're like, okay, I'm going to need to remember that particular slide. So get that handy. Go to the next slide. So today we're talking about flow clients and writing great copy. I want to recap about what we've done so far, just to kind of get your brains oriented to time and space, if they're anything like my brain. So on day 1, we started with the dream practice reboot, getting you back in touch with what the heck was the reason that you went into private practice to begin with. Because we can just kind of end up living a life that our practice built around us, and we end up sort of trapped in it, seeing clients at hours that we don't want to be working, seeing clients at rates that are not going to pay our bills, taking the lowest paying insurance because that was the one that was easiest to get paneled with. We don't want to live like that. And I gave you guys 3 freebies that day if you attended live. For those of you who are joining the paid program, the marketing intensive, you will get all of the freebies. So don't stress if you're like, oh crap, I wasn't here that day live. I'll get you the freebies inside of the paid course. But they included a formula for knowing which of your insurance companies to break up with first, because it's real important that we keep your income steady. And we don't want to, for example, I had somebody in coaching once who was like, I'm going to drop such and such insurance company because they're the lowest paying, which makes intuitive sense. But then when we looked at her caseload, it was like 70% of her caseload. So if we had dropped that one first, that would have been a real problem for her financial stability. So that formula that I shared with you guys, if you attended the first day live, we'll walk you through that. And then we also provided you the proxy partnership risk assessment. Listen, I am not a good namer, but I make some cool freebies. That one was to help you if you're partnering with Headway, Alma, BetterHelp, Talkspace, any of the peeps, how you can make sure that your booty is covered, because sometimes there's some stuff in that contract that in the legalese way that they put it in there, we don't realize that it's putting our practice at risk. And then it also gives you some steps to take if you realize like, ooh, what they said in the contract here does not align with my state statutes. I'm going to need to update my informed consent and have them look back over that. So we walk you through that in that freebie. And the last one was reconnecting you to your why. It was the Dream Practice Reboot Journal with some prompts to help you reimagine what your life could look like if you just made a few small changes. That was all from freaking day one, y'all. Does your brain feel full? We were trying to organize this earlier today, and I'm like, we have made this kind of complicated by the freebies, and then we have disappearing bonuses depending on when you buy in the course. So I hope that this little super summary is helpful. We also worked through 3 beliefs that tend to hold therapists back from moving into private pay. Those were things like, nobody's going to pay those rates. And you'll remember that we had ChatGPT pull for us every freaking zip code in the United States of America to make sure that there was at least one city in every single state where there were people who could pay $150 an hour for a year of therapy. Check, check, check. That is true. We confirmed. I also put some little testimonials on here because I know it's easier to believe it from other people. Claudia Delgado said, I got my very first full rate cash pay client today, and they are starting tomorrow afternoon. I'm on cloud 9. So people do pay those rates. We got the evidence here. We also hear that marketing is too hard. And I don't remember what the heck this one said. Let me scroll it up. Yeah, here we go. We just move graphics around. I've only had time for a few small things, and yet I'm seeing results with these small changes already. And I hear that a lot. The marketing intensive and this training are very comprehensive, but you do not have to do all the things. You pick the things on training 5. You're going to get a quiz to help you know which of the things should you personally be pursuing over the others. And then we have Alicia here that says, my practice is full, 14 clients per week, and I'm home full time with my new baby. Just 10 months in, and revenue is up every single month. And I put that one next to the private pay makes me a bad person in some way, you know, that belief that stops us, just to show you, like, when you get to be home with your newborn baby, I think that's like proof positive that you're probably a decent human being because you're getting to make that choice. We really focused on making sure that we live a regret-less life in the ways that we can. I shared with you a story about my cousin and her sharing that she would only see her dad, I think it was like 20 more times in her life. You guys remember that story? And I was like, oh, hell no, dad, not working for me. And so it got me into action. And I'm hoping that that day one got you into action too. Okay, anything stand out to you from that super summary or from day one that you would like to share in the chat to support your peers? Anything that I didn't recap that was important or stood out, or any like insight or mind set shifts that came up for you when we did the work on what the heck is your dream life? And is there anything that we can do right now, today, to move you a little closer. I'm going to take a few sips of one of the 14 drinks I have on my desk. Let me see in the chat. I'm going to practice that thing that therapists do where they stay quiet to try to make the other person talk. You share in the chat what stood out for you. Susan says, just a question. I did get the free bonus, but how do you get to them now? Susan, do you mean the freebies from showing up live to these events? Or do you mean like I bought the course and I know I get a bunch of bonuses? Okay, the freebies for showing up live. You will have gotten a link from Chantel. Chantel, can you help me out? Can you walk her through that? Because I know I'm going to mess it up. Chantel shared the link in the chat during that session, and then you would have gotten it in your email, but she can hook you up in a private chat if you didn't get the link that first time. All right, let's see. Just relieved I can still be a good person. Good. Joy says, one thing that caught my attention was that private pay clients allow us to be more generous. Awesome. Okay, good. Susan, you got the link. So you enter your email address and the password, and then it will get delivered to your email. If you don't see it, it probably went to spam, promotions, trash, some sort of filter. So you can search your email for info@amberlida.com and make sure you're searching in those folders. If it doesn't pop up, just email us at that same email address and we'll make sure you get it. I'll pop it in the chat, info@amberlida.com. Awesome. Okay. So day 2, we had been talking in day 1 about boundaries and where we could reclaim time, money, energy, so that we could take the steps we needed to take to live more of the life that we want to live. But we couldn't get really deep into the math on that day, right? We were trying to just end sessions on time. We went deep into the math on day 2. And the goal of that was to help you see that you probably need to make more than you were thinking if we take into account planning for retirement. But also, dude, it's so much more possible than you might think. Remember how we did the retirement planner? And it was like, okay, I needed another $2,400 a month in order to catch up on retirement. And how many new clients was that? It was 3 or 4, depending on the fee that I charge, just 3 or 4. So I hope that that was super helpful. And those of you who attended live got this badass private pay profit planner that I usually only offer in the course. My good friend Carol helped me build it. And it lets you see like, okay, if I want to net this much, how much do I need to gross? And it separates it into like good, better, and best goals. It even lets you add in your taxes, like the percentage of taxes. It's not perfect. You still need to talk to your accountant. Listen, I don't have that degree, but it was a real good, like general idea of what it needs to look like. So again, it's in the paid program if you decide to join and you didn't get it. So the big take home for me, and I'm going to be waiting to hear your take home from day 2 in the chat. The big take homes for me from day 2 was like, holy heck, if insurance is on average paying me $60 less per hour, which is so painful to think about. That's just on average. That's not even if you're charging premium private pay rates. Then you would be making a raise of almost 58 grand a year. 58 grand, I could charge $30,000 for the marketing intensive and you would still be profiting. It's insane to me. And you may not want to go all private pay. That's totally fine. But even just 5 clients a year is picking you up to almost $16,000 raise. A $16,000 raise. That math just pisses me off. It, like in a good way, it's motivating, but it pisses me off. So I didn't have this in the slide deck because I was like, I don't know, they don't know me well enough, but now you know me well enough. So I'm going to put it in here. It's a little bit potent. It says, maybe it's time to stop funding your reduced fee spots with your retirement fund, mortgage payment, electric bill, groceries for the week, kids' summer camp, your own therapy, time off that you desperately need, the vacation that you haven't taken in 3 years, your emergency savings, a slower caseload that could actually let you breathe. I didn't make those up. Those are from surveys of therapists that I have worked with in the past through this free series. These are the things that they said that they were giving up to fund those spots. Now, what did we learn? We learned that we can fund those spots via our business, not our personal money. Not our personal monies. We keep the personal monies, but we have spots in our caseload that are high enough that they can subsidize the others. So what stood out for you? Those are the things that stood out for me, but I have a particular bias, What stood out from you from our money day? And remember, we also did that formula where you had to figure out how many new clients you needed a month in order to be full and stay full based on how long you see people in therapy. I love that formula. It always makes people, that's an emotional roller coaster of a day. And I feel like that formula was like, okay, we'll be okay. What stood out for you? Joan is saying, I need to get clear about my dream schedule. Right now, I just schedule people when it works for them. I also need to get clear on my flow clients. Oh, we're going to do that today. Your advice and expertise is helping me drill down to what I want and who I want to work with. Awesome. Awesome. Oh, Susan, I'm glad we're on the same page. That formula is like, oh, I love it. My own coaches, my own business coaches crack up when they watch these trainings because they're like, you push on your people all the things you don't like to do. Math, metrics. And I'm like, you guys got to look at your numbers. Don't change your website till you pull your analytics. And they're like, and when did you last look at your analytics? Do as I say, not as I do. Yes. Teddy says that formula made me feel like I could come back from the ledge. Yes. Michelle says, really pointed out how much smaller of a caseload I could have and how few clients it takes per month to keep that up. Yes. Good. Okay. Recapping day 3. We had a killer freaking bonus and it filled up fast. We gave away 5 one-on-one coaching spots. So it was like, what's 5 times 500? 2,500? So $2,500 worth of goodies were given away that day. That was awesome. And it was the day we started talking about the overview of how marketing works. So remember how we talked about you got to get found, you got to get picked. And how do we get found? Do you guys pop quiz? How do we get found? There are 3 ways. Pop quiz in the chat. Oh, yeah, Barbara, gut punches on how much I've been sacrificing. Yes. 3 ways. Baby something, not networking, but something else. Yes, relationships. Baby SEO, yes. And content marketing, which is just being helpful out loud. Baby SEO. And remember, we even went through exactly what that entailed. Just 3 things. Baby SEO, content marketing, which is just making worksheets for your clients and then putting them on your website, that kind of thing. And then relationship marketing, being helpful to people you know. Yeah, it's coming too. And then we also, that was the day that our program opened up for people who wanted to buy it. And that was also the day we gave you a Show Up Live freebie that was helping you to figure out what's missing in your marketing if you've been trying to market so far. Now, most of you, your marketing so far has really just been through directories or being listed with insurance. So there are several pieces missing, but that's okay because we're filling them out together now. So remember how we talked about like spending money on SEO or somebody to build your website or write your copy? It's probably not the best idea because all of those are very expensive and they're only one piece of the marketing puzzle. And we need all the pieces and we need them to work together. These are the ways that people find you: SEO hacks, content marketing, relationships, but y'all already know that because you won on the quiz. So here's what we're doing today. In addition to solidifying everything you already learned, you are going to, Chantel, can you answer CC for me? We're going to be doing how the frick to get picked. So we talked about last time how you can make the most beautiful website ever. But if nobody finds it through the 3 routes that we talked about, then it's just a billboard in the woods. But now we're assuming that our 3 ways of getting found worked. Now we gotta get picked. So for those of you who are live here today, you're getting 2 freebies. You're getting the, y'all are gonna be mind blown by the end of the day. It's a real good day. The Flow Client Discovery Pack. So I'm gonna pull some graphics from today and have that in there for you that are gonna help you to remember some of the really big points. Some prompts to help you speak in the language of your client and not in psychoanalytic psychobabble. And then a visual framework that is badass. Sorry, I got distracted. A visual framework that is badass. And if you take it and run with it, will be all the copy you will ever need forever and ever and ever. I mean, I hope you don't do that because I want you to keep working with me, but you could with just that. And then I'm going to help you in the free stuff, learn how to have your flow clients find you or you find them, whether they're online or in reality, in the real world, IRL. Now, here's the time when you might want to get your phone out if you want a little reminder of what's happening when. So some big stuff is going down. Bonuses are things that we give you if you purchase the marketing intensive by a particular date. So for example, if you purchase before the end of October 30th, you're going to get something called the bridge copy bonus. I'll describe it more later, but it's a big deal. Okay, brief description. It is the hardest part of your copy to write. You are good at recognizing your client's pain points. You're good at recognizing how they want to feel, but translating therapy speak of how you help them to get from one place to another, none of us are very good at that. So I wrote it for every psychological theory I could think of so that you're able to translate that theory into client speak language. So that is a really cool bonus that you only get if you've already bought or you buy before October 30th. For November 4th, the bonuses that expire that, oh, I forgot I made that one. The bonuses that expire that day is a mini course. It's badass of how to ethically exit insurance and bring most of your clients with you. It's very step-by-step. There are scripts for how to talk to clients, et cetera, et cetera. There is the mini mental health checkup tool. Remind me in group coaching to tell you what that is, because you can use it even if you don't purchase the course. And I have a coaching client right now whose practice is full because of that one thing. So somebody please write that down, remind me and talk to you about it. And then training day 5, we're going to bring it all together. So we're going to reduce all the overwhelm. We're going to make sure that you pick only the things that you need to be doing and prioritize those things that are most consistent with your personality, so they're easier for you to do. And for many of you, you will re-niche over the years, and you might be, actually, somebody in here was talking to me about it, about like, you've been doing a lot of trauma work and you've been doing it for like 30 years and you're tired, but you want to still do work. You just can't keep doing complex trauma work. So how do we re-niche using the skills that we already have, but in a different way for a different client? And then also, how do we make that happen on our website too? It's not anywhere near as hard as you think. And we got a little helpful mini course for you for that. Okay, that's good. Is that a good recap? I feel like that's good. Okay. I'm going to just give you this page for a screenshot of just some additional things coming your way in case you want it. No pressure. I'm not going to go through it all. I will point out this date here. November 13th is really important if you're going to purchase the course. It is the day that the huge, huge savings disappear. You don't want to miss the early bird savings. So if you're on the fence, like, block this in your calendar of like, I got to make the decision by today, because it's a lot of money. Chantel, if you can put in the chat how much it is, that would be awesome. I don't remember off the top of my head. I just remember thinking, did we do this? And we can remind me, and I'll talk more about these bonuses later if it's helpful. I'll also point out that there is a bonus that's going to expire on the 18th. I don't know what it is. I haven't made it yet. So if you have something that you're like, Amber, could you make this? I'm going to join the intensive and this would be super helpful for me. You let me know, and maybe that will be the bonus that we create for that one. Okie dokie, Smokies. Today, these are your 2. Was I not sharing my screen when I told you that I would? I apologize. This is the one you want to screenshot up if you need it. Okay. Here we go. These are your freebies for today. Thank you so much, Chantel. And Chantel, can you confirm that I'm correct that the social media bonus is what expires today? If you all think it's hard for you to keep track, it's hard for us to keep track too. I'm just looking at my slides to confirm. Yep, it's a social media. I got it. I got it. Okay, gang, I want to show you something super freaking cool. Remember how, am I sharing? Yeah. Remember how I told you that you do not need to stress about social media, that the whole purpose of it is simply to make sure that Google knows you're a legit business and shows you across the internet. Remember how we talked about like we can steal SEO from companies who've already had it simply by connecting our name to them? That's why we want a Facebook business page, right? It has a ton of SEO. Are people going to find us there? No. But does Google use it as a signal that they should show our website because we're legit, we exist across the internet? Yes. Should you put some posts on there? Yeah. Should you spend a lot of time on it? Hell to the no. So to try to keep you guys from spending a lot of time on it, for those of you joining the course today, and everybody who's already bought, we made it for you. So I'm going to just show it to you because I'm so proud. Shirley made these because we all know that if I'm graphic designing, it's not going to be good, but I want to show you what they look like. And I'm going to teach you a little bit about social media as we do it. Remember how we talked about all social media posts are either going to be educational, inspirational, or darn it, it just went right out of my head. Educational, inspirational, or I'll remember it in a second. So that's all these posts need to be. Here we have just a little like help them post. What have you done for yourself in the last 24 hours to proactively practice self-care? That's it. That's all the post. You are able to change the colors. You would simply go here, click here. I walk you through this in the course. Click here, change all, and now the entire thing has been changed. I'm not going to do that because I like what Shirley did. We walk you through how to do that. Here is, it's a brand new week. Which of these affirmations might help you make it a great one? Do you see how easy this is? It's the graphic design that is the pain in the butt. And in this bonus, we also wrote all the copy that you will have that goes with the post. So it's all frickin' done for you. I'm wondering, do I have a copy on here? No, I don't. And we have it both in this nice neutral color. And we also have, education right here. Why therapists don't have reviews about their work, right? I love that one because then you can link to your Google My Business page with reviews from colleagues and it'll make more sense. She just did a kick-ass job. Quotes in here. Is it what you expected? This is an engagement post. It makes people talk about like, was therapy what you expected? Was your first session what you expected? That kind of thing. You can change anything in here, or you can just use them exactly as they are. And here's another version, similar kind of content, just different colors. Okay, so all that's done for you and it's free and we love it. Questions about that? I've been wanting to do that for years. It makes me very happy that it's done because no matter what I say about don't spend a lot of time doing this, even for me, when I go into Canva, I will end up spending a lot of time. It is a time suck. You cannot help yourself. So I hope that that will help those of you who are joining. So Virginia says, how often would you need to post these? You have two options. You can post them all like at the same time on the same day and never touch them again. Or if you want to be fancy, you could put it into an auto scheduler that repeats them every 30 days. One post a day is plenty on repeat because Facebook is not showing your posts to most people, even people who are following you. Less than 1 to 3% of people who have clicked follow on your business page will ever see that post. So we want to repeat, because otherwise we're wasting effort. They're unlikely to even ever know that they've been repeated. So This is very different than influencer marketing. You don't have to go wild posting a whole lot. The repeating is not for well, no, that's a good question. The repeating is more for an overachiever who feels like if somebody landed on that page, they want them to think that the page is active. I don't care if people think my therapy business page is active. I even write a little note to be like, hey, not an active page. And I have an autoresponder in my Facebook page messages that says, I don't check these messages. If you need to get in touch with me, go to my website. And if you're in crisis, here are some resources. Because I don't want the liability of anybody sending me a crisis message and missing it. I didn't know that in the beginning, and I responded to a lot of people in crisis. Alrighty. Remember, that bonus goes away tonight. So try to purchase today if you're going to. Yeah, I'm going to leave that there. I repeat a lot because I want it to stick in your head. So how do we get found? 3 things with baby SEO. Header, just 1 per page. And then we have our subheaders, as many as you want. Okay. We also write in the alt text, the description of the picture. Those are our 3 hacks. And then we're going to hack SEO by claiming some of somebody else's. Google My Business, Facebook business page. And then we also get found through word of mouth. So we do relationship marketing, not networking. We build relationships. And then we can amplify both of these by creating content. So I think we talked about like a mindfulness meditation for people going to the gynecologist that they can access by a QR code on a postcard, right? That's content marketing. And it builds up the relationship with that gynecologist. Now, to get picked, we have to be deeply, deeply in touch with our flow client. So the challenge for you today is to make sure you're thinking of a single person, just one. You won't want to do this. You're going to think of lots of people. Pick one, and we will do as many of them as you want. But picking one is going to help you go deep. If you're trying to think about like the themes across your people, it's going to mess you up for this exercise. So we don't want to do that. Okay. Once we get to know them deeply, we're going to write copy that speaks to their heart in such a way that they can't imagine working with somebody else. And I've got a bot. It'll help you with that. You don't have to be a good writer. And then the last piece is make it simple. They should not have to look around on your website for a button to book with you. That button should be seen at every spot on the website while they scroll. We want a bunch of buttons that say schedule your free consult. We do not want that going to something that's like a contact form. We want it to go directly to a scheduler. I know that's super scary, but we want it to go directly to a scheduler. You're going to get way more clients. I won't book a plumber if I cannot schedule immediately on the website. Do not make me get on a call. Do not make me fill out a form and then have to check my friggin' email. I don't want to do any of that. Oh, it went to spam. Nobody wants to do that. So automatic. I said that like very strongly. Okay, so when you think about picking one person as your flow client, as your first flow client, and marketing to that one person, you're going to feel some resistance. So please put it in the chat. When anybody has ever told you, you need an ideal client, you need an ideal client avatar, you need to identify your niche, what are the thoughts and feelings that come up for you? Fear it may be too narrow. Boredom. Keep it coming. I'm letting go of all other possible clients. I have to pick just one. I have so many kinds of people I like to work with. I want to help everybody. It's hard to pick more than one. Ooh, interesting. Huh? Okay, so let's deal with them one at a time. Fear of it being narrow makes total intuitive sense, but it does not make marketing sense. Remember how we talked about with SEO, because we're competing against huge companies, like those people that I'm not going to name, it's impossible for us to win at getting found via SEO with a broad thing like anxiety or people in transition or adults, children's, couples, and families. Like, we're never, ever going to win if it's that broad. In other words, we're not going to get found. So we have to narrow so that we're using keywords when we describe our person that are the ways that they're describing themselves. And it's freaking annoying as heck as a consumer to go looking for a therapist and all of them are so vague and general that I just am like, swipe, 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 swipe. You know, like, I have no idea what you actually do. Swipe, swipe. How are you going to help me? Right? So we have two issues. One, we're not going to get found if it's not super specific. We got to get found if we're going to get clients. Two, we're not going to get picked if it's really generic. People will pick an insurance-based therapist on generic stuff, but they will not pick a private pay therapist unless they feel like that person gets them to their core. So they shop different, okay? The fear that you're going to leave people out, get it? That's okay. We're going to duplicate the one page we write on your website for that one flow client. We're going to duplicate it. We're going to follow the exact same format in the duplicate form, but we're going to write copy to another human being. And you can have 30 of them. We do not care. You can have as many flow clients as you want. We just have to be very specific on each page. Each page of your website ranks for SEO separate than the other pages. That's really important to remember. Your website as a whole, not going to rank. We're trying to rank per page, and it's going to rank if it's specific. And then here's what's cray-cray. Most people are never going to land on your homepage because they're typing in something specific like therapy for anxious moms with ADD kids. You know, like, they're typing in something specific. That's going to take them to your specific specialty / flow client page. It's bypassing the homepage. It's going right to the right page. So they're not even noticing that you're treating 30 other different types of people. They're just like, holy crap, this is my person. So feel free, as many as you want. Okay. They will leave my website or not be interested if they land there and they see something that's not them. Now, the truth is, when you write kick butt copy, people are noticing how good you are at understanding another human. And somehow they intuitively know, like, whoa, if they can understand that person so well, they're going to get me. I have only once ever seen specific copy undermine someone's marketing efforts. And that was because he should have had another page for his other clients, but he only had one page. It was targeted towards CEOs. And I had a mom that would have been like amazing with him. She went to his website. He only had a page for CEOs. She was working from home. She didn't identify as a home CEO. And so she didn't think he was going to be a good match. So we want to make sure that we're really nailing our peeps. Okay. Let me see what else you got here. Oh, and boredom. Thank you, Haley, for saying that. Y'all, you can add as many as you want. And here's the thing. Once you have that template, let's say it's 10 years from now and you're like, I'm so sick of seeing perfectionists. I want to see somebody who's, whatever the opposite of that is. Great. Duplicate the page, follow the framework, write it to your new person. You have lifetime access to the bot if you're in the course. I'll demonstrate it today. You can literally be like, here's my new person, write this dang page. It'll write it, you'll zhuzh it, you'll be done. Okay, that was exciting. So let's keep on going. We always try to work through any sort of obstacles before I get into the juicy stuff here. So here's a little sneak peek at some good copy, okay? This would say something like, at the top, it would say, if any of this sounds like you, we might be a good fit. And then we slide into this copy. You wake up again at 4 a.m., brain fog, thick as soup. Now, for me, That's a little too poetic. That wouldn't speak to me. You have to know your ideal client. The person who was using the bot to get to this language, her people are writers. So they're definitely going to be into the poetry of the language. Brain fog thick as soup, wondering if you'll ever feel like yourself again. The woman who once held space so beautifully for others now snaps at her partner, barely recognizes herself in the mirror, and secretly wonders, is this just who I am now? You're not lazy. You're not broken. You're in the wild, often misunderstood storm of perimenopause, and you don't have to navigate it alone. I'm here to help you make sense of what's happening. This is bridge copy, PS. I'm here to help you make sense what's happening, reconnect with the strong, vibrant self underneath it all, and craft a version of life that feels even richer than before. We'll laugh, cry, rage a little, okay, maybe a lot, and build a path forward that's grounded in science, deep compassion, and real talk. This is pretty different than what you are used to seeing in people's directory listings. Yeah. It's hyper specific. When I read this, especially the part where she says, is this just who I am now? That almost made me cry the first time I read it, because that is exactly how I felt when the perimenopause symptoms started kicking in. So just to let's play a little bit. If you were to think of one of your flow clients, let's think of yourself 5 years ago. What is a sentence kind of like that if you had read it, you'd be like, you're hired. Like, what's the thing that would have spoken to your heart 5 years ago? Or if you don't want to be vulnerable, to one of your very favorite clients' hearts. It doesn't need to be perfect, y'all. Just we're iterating. Put something in the chat. Ooh, this is good, Laura. You're spinning your wheels, but you don't feel like you're getting anywhere. Yes, yes. Waking up and missing me. Ooh, yes. Yes, that's great. That's really good. Tired of sabotaging relationships. You just found out oh my gosh, your partner wants a divorce and you're totally blindsided. You deserve so much better. Here's a good one. Do you feel like you have to solve everyone's problems? Oh, y'all, this is going to be so fun. This is so fun already. Okay. We're going to be getting in our creative headspace. Y'all are already sliding there. I want you to wiggle. Let's wiggle. You have been in your left brain and you've been learning. Let's get the wiggling. We got to activate our right brain, do your tapping, do your dancing, do what you got to do. We got to get into our right brain energy because you're about to kick some booty. Remember that your insurance clients shop totally different than private pay clients, right? They've got to see themselves. And you might be thinking, I can't say I'm a specialist of blah, 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 blah. I can't name a flow client. I don't have XYZ credential. Lies. These are lies. You know that there's been a moment when you have been with a client and you have been in such freaking flow with them. You probably didn't even need your degree to do a good job, because you're just naturally amazing with that sort of human. That's the person I want you calling to mind. If we can market to them, 1 in 10 of them are not going to be able to keep their mouth shut about you, because 1 in 10 humans are sharers. I'm a sharer. If I find a pair of jeans that make my butt look good, all y'all are going to hear about it on Facebook, because I want to make sure that you get those pair of jeans if they'll make your butt look good. 1 in 10 of your clients are going to be sharers. So we want them all to be flow clients, so that only the ones who love you are sharing about you. We don't want mismatched clients talking about you. That's not helpful. So I'm going to get us here. The trick is going to be that we want to be granular and specific. We want them to recognize themselves in the copy, almost in a creepy way, like you read their journal. Okay. And it needs to be emotionally evocative. So I'm going to give you a formula. I want to read, I kind of want to move the formatting here around for a second. Nope. We're going to stick on the path. We're going to stay the course. So I'm going to read you just a little bit more to help you get into that brain space. Okay. I'm loving this. You are in the thick of new motherhood and asking yourself, will you ever feel like you again? That's badass copy. Really, really good. Okay. Here's some more. This is for therapists. You used to feel sharp, intuitive, locked in during session, like you were doing the work you were born to do. You could hold a client's pain, remember your partner's schedule, and have a birthday card in the mail before anyone else even realized it was coming. Now, you stare at the calendar you just organized and can't remember why you're crying or snapping or feeling so deeply sad. You don't recognize this foggy, flat version of yourself, and watching younger professionals rise while you struggle just to feel present, it feels like you're vanishing. Give me chills. But this isn't the end of your story. Blah, blah, blah. So this is we're grabbing some of the previous language, put it here. And then it ends with, together, we'll look at what's hormonal, what's psychological, and what's soul deep, so you can feel like you again. Maybe even a version of you that's wiser, freer, and finally dreaming big again. Y'all, I'm hitting that book now button so fast. I'm hitting it so fast. This is something one of the students in the course wrote. Like, this is the level of connection that we want our people to feel. It's almost for me like a gift that you're giving to people who may never even become your clients, because just to know that somebody gets them, even somebody they've never met, they can't be alone if somebody else understands them at this level. So your flow clients are those soul deep connections. Pull one of them to mind. And it is super important because your flow client informs everything else. If you feel like, I don't know, none of the other marketing is going to work. So it's super duper important because it's going to inform what you write on your website. It's going to inform where you target with your marketing, what cities you target, what demographics you target, what relationships you build. Are you building it with a podiatrist? Are you building a relationship with a chiropractor? Are you building the relationship with the endocrinologist, right? It informs all of it, including your relationship marketing. So we get our flow client. We get found using SEO, baby SEO, content marketing, relationship marketing, and then we write compelling copy to get picked. I think I covered that like 18 times here, so we don't need that slide. Gosh, I really want to. Okay, let me ask you this. Who do you think your first flow client is? Can you describe that person in the chat for us? Let me just take a little look-see to see where you're at. As I kind of feel like you might be ahead of most people just from what I'm reading in the chat so far. And if so, I'm going to skip a couple slides. So tell me who you think your flow client, just one, might be. What's she like? What's he like? What are they like? Do they wake up in the morning? If lyrics wake up in the morning feeling like P. Diddy, that's where my brain just went, right? Like if there are lyrics that can be associated with something that I'm saying, that's what's happening in my brain at all times. Do they wake up in the morning feeling super freaking anxious? Their entire to-do list racing through their head? Do they absolutely adore their partner, but cannot help that they keep lashing out at them, even though it's not their partner they're really mad at, it's their dad? What is your person like? Young male struggling to find direction in their life. All right, I knew I was going to want to skip ahead. Okay, we're going to play. We're playing. So I'm going to play with the bot that's in the course, and I'm happy to share the copy that it comes up with for you. So I'm going to go with what Tanner said here. Young adult male struggling to find direction in their life. So we have two bots. One is our Find Your Flow client bot. Where's the screen that I want? And one will take what you get from that and turn it into copy. So let us play. So this is the Flow Client Bot. I'm going to put in here what Tanner said. So it says, tell me a little bit about yourself so I can help you. What is it saying? Find your flow clients. So I'm going to say, my name is Hannah. This is my dude. Can you help me narrow, deepen my understanding of him? And Tanner, if you're cool with it, would you mind turning on your mic so I can go back and forth with you? And if you don't want to, that's totally fine. I did not ask for your consent ahead of time, and I am happy to do it with somebody else. Is it cool with you?
Yeah, that's cool.
Okay, cool. All right. So, absolutely, Tanner. That's a solid starting point. Am I sharing my screen, you guys? Can you see it? Okay. And yes, I can definitely help you deepen your understanding of him. Let's start by fleshing him out a little bit. Here's your next question. What kind of life situations or transitions is he in right now that might be adding to his sense of confusion or feeling lost? Maybe is he finishing college, not sure what's next, working a job that doesn't feel meaningful, recovering from a breakup or family shift, living at home, feeling pressure to figure it out? Tell me a little about what's going on in his life right now. Just your best guess.
Usually some like major decision coming up, whether to get engaged to a girlfriend or what career to start or just finding purpose.
Let's see what Chatty G says. So this is a bot that I built using all of the course material. So it's trained in everything that I teach in the marketing intensive and the free training series. And it's also trained to use my voice, which is pretty complimentary. So if that's annoying to you, you're not going to like this bot. Perfect. This gives us a lot to work with. So your flow client is likely a young man standing at a major crossroads where the next decision feels heavy, maybe even like it could define his whole future. What's underneath his indecision? In other words, what fears, beliefs, or inner conflicts might be making it hard for him to move forward? For example, I told it to always give you examples. Is he afraid of making the wrong choice, worried about disappointing someone, doubting whether he's enough, lacking models for healthy decision making? Give me a sense of the emotional or internal stuff that might be tangled up in these life decisions.
I would say like the doubting whether he's enough is good, or like a fear of failure.
Mm-hmm. Anything else you can think of or no?
Yeah, I mean, just like their past history getting in the way of making future decisions. So some sort of trauma or addiction. But that feels a little too broad. So I'm trying not to get broad.
Okay. Can you give me an example of like a sort of trauma or addiction that would be showing up in the way he is struggling to make decisions now?
A pornography addiction.
Mm-hmm. And in what way does that show up for him with making decisions now?
Just doesn't trust himself to make a decision that's based off of like clarity.
That's great. That's great. It using your name is cracking me up every time. You're describing a flow client who isn't just stuck on external decisions. He's carrying shame, self-doubt, and fear that stem from deeper patterns. And that's exactly the kind of nuance that makes your work impactful. Here's your next question to take this further. When he finally reaches out for therapy, what do you imagine is the breaking point or turning point, the why now, that pushes him to get help? Is he fighting with a partner? Is a job falling through? A sense that he can't live with the inner conflict anymore? Give me a snapshot of what might finally bring him through your literal or metaphorical door.
Yeah, I would think it's like like the upcoming decision has like a timeline almost like, hey, college is wrapping up and I need to really buckle down and make a choice. The fight with the partner is a good one too. I like all three of those questions actually.
Okay, great. Okay. we're going to do just a tiny bit more, and then I'm going to throw it into the copywriting bot. Okay. Summary. What does he hope therapy will give him? Confidence, freedom from shame, a sense of identity or inner peace. So this is like, what's his hope point? What does he hope he'll get through it?
A sense of control over his future.
Awesome.
And so, yeah.
Oh, you can go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, if that's enough, that's good. I'm good with
Okay.
that.
All right. And oh, damn, that's a good question. What do you think's keeping him from choosing just any therapist?
Well, that is a good question. I don't know about that one.
Oh, okay. Let's look at his examples. I guess Chatty G is a boy here. What do you think's keeping him from choosing any therapist? Why might he hesitate, stall, or keep browsing instead of booking? Is he afraid of being judged, not feeling understood, not wanting to open up about something like porn addiction? Is he afraid, here's Amber speaking, that he might have to give something up that's hard if he makes a decision? Have people misunderstood him before?
I would say the fear of being judged and yeah, the not wanting to open up, afraid of the work it'll take.
Mm. What would he lose on the other side of getting well? What would be the cost for him? There's always a cost, right? There's always a cost to getting well. What would be his?
The cost of feeling better, is that what you mean? Like, what is he giving up?
Yeah. Like if he achieved his therapeutic goals, what would that cost him? Like sometimes we'll lose a relationship with somebody that we love if we really get better, or we might realize like we have to be abstinent from porn altogether, and that feels like a really hard loss. Like what might it be for him?
That's a tough one. I don't know if this counts, but I would think like he has to commit to take on the risk of admitting he's doing something.
Say that last part again.
He has to take on the risk of having control over his life or having control over his decisions.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, that's great, guys. I see in the chat. That's awesome. Okay. Now I'm going to make it stop working for a minute. You know how Chatty G like wants to ask you 20 million questions. At some point, you got to be like, listen, this is fun. So I'm going to say, let's summarize what you know about him so far. I want to take a look. So we don't have to do what Chatty G says to do. All right. He is a young adult male, likely in his early to mid 20s. And we can change anything that's not accurate. Facing major life crossroads, career, relationship, like deciding whether to be engaged and finding a deeper sense of purpose. What he's navigating, pressures tied to time-sensitive life decisions, a sense that he should be figuring things out, but he's overwhelmed by the weight of getting it right. Internal blocks like trauma, addiction, or past experiences that erode trust in his own judgment. Listen for anything that you think could be like wrong here, because I want to show you how it might fix. And if it's not wrong, that's fine. Underneath the indecision, self-doubt, fear of failure, shame, especially around compulsive behaviors or past choices, a belief he's not enough or not trustworthy with big life decisions, fear of taking on responsibility because it means owning the outcome. That's good copy. What finally brings him to therapy? The urgency of a timeline, inner conflict, building to a breaking point, a moment realizing he can't keep circling an indecision without consequences. Ooh, that one's good too. What he truly wants, a sense of control over his future, to trust himself and feel grounded in his choices, relief from shame, a sense of purpose and confidence. What holds him back? Fear of being judged, hesitancy to open up emotionally, afraid of the work therapy might require, and the scary reality that gaining control also means taking full responsibility. How does that feel in terms of accuracy?
That's pretty spot on.
Okay. So I think what from here, I'm going to hold on to this for a sec and I can put it in a Google Doc for you later, Tanner, if that's helpful.
Okay. Yeah, that'd be great.
Okay. I'm going to hold on to this for a second. And then I want to give you a formula. So I'm just going to hop all around this because you guys are a little bit more advanced. So let me get to the formula. What we do not want is generic. We want specific. So what that's going to look like, we don't want to say, I treat people with anxiety. We do want to say, I work with high achieving women in their 30s and 40s who struggle with constant self-doubt and wake up at 3 in the morning, replaying conversations from the day, wondering if they've messed up. Let's pretend that there aren't typos in there. Okay. Do you hear how specific and emotionally evocative that is? So let's review. We want our peeps to feel like this when they see the website. So we wanted to go from, I help people with anxiety and stress, which is boring, to something specific like, do you feel like anxiety is holding you hostage? I help high achieving women break free from the constant cycle of overthinking and self-criticism so that they can regain their peace and confidence. Tell me how that feels in the comments. Let me see. Because y'all are a little bit more advanced. So I want to see if it feels like, duh. Yeah, obviously that's what I write.
Amber, I'm sorry to interrupt, but I'm just wondering if you could just show the ChatGPT comments that Tanner made. You said, "Oh, that's good," but I couldn't hear what he was saying. So are you able to just show that little thing again?
What,
I'll direct you. I'll guide you to what it was.
I'm gonna pause. Let's
Okay.
do that in the coaching call. I can come back to anything.
Okay.
I want to make
Okay.
sure that we have time to process through
Sure. Sure.
the formula.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Amanda is not gonna feel overwhelming in a minute. Okay. Okay. You guys are liking it. Good. So here is the formula that you will use. All right. So an emotionally evocative sentence to start. Now, let me show you the example here. So you're going to do this. So get ready. Do you feel like anxiety is holding you hostage? That's our emotionally evocative sentence. Plus the who. Who do I help? I help high achieving women to what? I help them to break free from the constant cycle of overthinking and self-criticism so that they can regain their sense of, go back, Amber, peace and confidence. Now, if you want to get fancy, you can add an even if to that, but let's not get fancy yet. So in the chat, I'm going to show you the screen again so you can see the formula. Okay. Emotionally evocative sentence that would resonate with your ideal client, your flow client. Are you sick of blah, blah, blah? Would you like to feel more like yada, yada? Let me show you here. Oops, not that one, this one. Do you feel like blankety blank, blank, blank? Do you wish that blankety blank, blank, blank? So let's see some of your emotionally evocative sentences. Do you feel like you're losing your damn mind? Right. Do you feel trapped by your past? Excellent, Sandra. That's awesome. Oh, look at Maddie kicking butt. You find yourself lying awake late at night, wishing you knew how to help your child. Ooh, they're caught in cycles of worry. This is great. And it is so much harder to write when your client is the child, but the parent is the one you're having to write the copy to. It's like an extra level of complexity, and you're doing a great job. They're caught in cycles of worry, fear, and rituals you can't seem to stop, and it's heartbreaking. This is where I come in. I help tweens and teens find real solutions for anxiety and OCD that offer relief for the entire family. Maddie, that's badass. And you should get in touch with Janice Gravani. She is a therapist who also works with a lot of OCD, and she is overfull. So she would be a good person to build a relationship with. Tell her I sent you. Do you feel overwhelmed by your changing life situations? That's a very good start. I would want to get even more specific, and overwhelmed is good, but can we bring it up a notch, even more evocative? Ooh, this is good. Haley, is the past hijacking your present? Great, great, great. Cece, do you feel stuck in a relationship that doesn't feel right? Bev, do you have trouble getting out of your head? Yes. Barbara, are you tired of being stuck in the vicious cycle of ADHD, overwhelm, and feeling like a failure? Mm-hmm. Do you feel like you're on autopilot and every day is the same? Y'all are crushing it. Crushing it. Okay, so the next part of your formula is the who. I help blank. Let me write this in the chat so you can see it. I help blank to do blank blank so that they can blank. Let's just start there. I help who to do what so that they can outcome. I help blank to do blank so that they can. I have on the screen an example of it kind of broken down. Just one person. I know you guys can help more, but for now, just the one. My screen's going to not show you the right thing for just a second, but I'm wanting to grab a document to show you. So roll with me. Let me see it in the chat. Let me unshare for a second. I help blank to do blank so that they can blank. My computer is locking up on me and I don't appreciate it. Let me close a few windows. Okay, I help couples learn better communication. I help blank to blank so that they can achieve a stronger, healthier, loving relationship. This is good. We can make it even better. So a marketing trick is people used to want to learn things. Now they don't want to learn. They want the outcome. So I help couples to improve their shitty communication so that they can blah, 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 blah. And stronger, healthier, loving relationship is good, but we could make it even more specific. We could say something like, so that they can, listen, I'm doing copy off the top of my head. Look at each other with this is so cheeseball, so that they can love each other like they did when they first met. So that they can find the love they had for each other when they first met again. Okay. So really specific. I help women in their 20s and 30s create and find relationships that feel healthy and fulfilling. Okay, good. Let's make it better. What is healthy and fulfilling to them? So get even more specific. Relationships relationships in which they feel totally known, accepted, seen, even more. Okay. I help mid-career physicians to recalibrate and restore so they can go on caring for their patients and themselves with ease, vitality. I like both of those words. This is really good, really specific. Mid-career physicians couldn't be better to recalibrate. I mean, that tells me exactly where we market your stuff, right? Like, we're going to be calling med schools. We're going to be asking physicians who they know who would fit in this category. This is really good. I would be curious for later in your copy, not for this exercise, what they're trying to recalibrate from and what they're trying to restore. You guys are crushing this. This is really, really, really good. Okay, I want to see. I really want this document to open, and it's just not, but we're going to try it one more time, and then we're going to let it go. Nope, it's not going to open. I'm going to try. I lied. I'm going to try it one more time in a different way, and then I'm going to let it go. Nope. Okay. So let's move to the next slide. My nose is getting itchy with excitement. Okay. Yeah, y'all are like you're kind of kicking butt. So I'm going to take you to a deep slide that I wasn't going to show you, but you're in it to win it. So I'm going to show you. Now we have talked about a little bit about the structure of how you write good copy. So I'm trying to fix this. It's not wanting to fix. You want it to be super specific. You're going to use that formula of an emotionally evocative sentence. I know my screen share is weird. I'm fixing it. And then who I help to do what so that they can what. Oh, let me go back here for a sec. Now, the even if and without, this is important. When I was going to therapy, I wanted to have more work-life balance, mostly for my partner at the time. But I was really afraid that if I learned work-life balance, I was not going to be the star employee anymore. And then my boss was not going to think that I was the best. And then the single source of my identity was going to go away. So even though I was like, yes to work-life balance, my inside was like, no, ma'am. Right? So how do we deal with, so I would have been afraid to start therapy. So think about why your flow client might be afraid to start. In fact, put it in the chat. Why might your flow client be afraid to start therapy? I was afraid that getting better was going to mean losing my core piece of my identity. Nobody needs to take away my hyperachieving. So what about you guys? What's the thing, and not all of you will have this, what's the thing that might get in the way of your flow client getting into therapy? Okay, most of these are spot on. So we would add to the sentence, do you feel like anxiety is stealing your life away from you? I help women in their 30s and 40s who are feeling completely overwhelmed by some kind of thoughts so that they can feel in control of their life again and joyful again, even if therapy hasn't helped in the past. Okay? Even if you feel like you're too busy, even if you're afraid that by healing your past pain, you're taking responsibility for the person who caused it. So you can use even if, you can also use without. So let's see, one without. So when I did a lot of complex trauma work, the without that I would use frequently was without getting totally overrun by your emotions or feeling like you needed to numb out, because you know what they would try to do to numb out, right? So what is the even with if or without that your flow client might need to hear? All right. Now, Susan brought up like, and Lisa, they don't have time for therapy, don't think it'll work for them, or they're too busy. These aren't ones I would add to my even if without. These are ones that I would add to the FAQ section. of my website. So you can have an FAQ that said something like, well, therapy really helped me when I hardly have any time, whatever. You can have that and then you can respond to it. Okay. God, y'all are just crushing this. Okay, this is very exciting. Now we'll fancy pants it up. All right. So there is a concept in marketing about hot, warm, and cold leads. In our case, a hot lead, these are such terrible words, would be somebody that's like, I know that I need therapy. I know I need therapy for anxiety. I just need to find the right person. And once I land there, sign me up. They're ready. Okay. It was me shopping for a travel bag. I have a trip coming up. I know exactly the type of bag that I want. I just need to find it and I'm buying it. A warm lead is somebody who's like, I think I need therapy. And probably around this issue, but they're not quite ready to buy. You're going to have to warm them up with your copy beforehand. We are never going after cold audiences. These are people who are like, therapy? I don't need therapy. They're the people that we most want to get into therapy, but they're not going to come. So we're never trying to convince people that they need therapy and that they should do therapy with us. There are way too many people who are warm or hot that we want to get in. And this shows up in your copy because if you know, let me think how to put this. Here's a good one. How many of you do therapy intensives? Okay. So a lot of your clients will know that they need therapy, but they don't even know intensives are a thing yet because they're just not well known by clients. So they land on your website and they're like, she gets me, he gets me. Oh my gosh, this is my soul therapist. But you want to introduce intensives as the solution, but they don't know anything about the solution. So we got to warm them up. So we'll say something like, there are 2 ways that I can help you. We can do traditional therapy, so box over here, and this is what that looks like. Or we can do intensives, and that's what this looks like. So we're warming them up to an idea that they weren't quite prepared for. I think I might have another slide about this that I want to show you. Yeah, okay. So our warm person might be like this young woman who's like, I kind of feel like I need to do this, but she's not totally sure. Then she reads your copy and she's this person. So we're building what's called know, like, and trust on our website, and we're doing it by being helpful out loud. And what this can specifically look like is, we're going deep, y'all. I did not intend to do this slide, but y'all are so on it that I am going for it. Here we got our flow client. We've already moved from I treat people with anxiety to I work with high achieving women in their 30s and 40s who struggle with constant self-doubt and wake up at 3 a.m. replaying conversations from the day, wondering if they've messed up. That is a good flow client. Now we've turned it into compelling copy with our little formula. We've gone from I help people with anxiety to do you feel like anxiety is holding you hostage? You've heard me read this. I'm not going to read it again. But let's say that that person is still not quite ready to push the button. This is one of the reasons that every specialty page or flow client page needs to have at least 1,000 words. 1, because Google insists upon it and will not show your dang site to anybody unless there's 1,000 words on it. But 2, because some of our people aren't quite ready. And we can either warm them up through more content on the page, which is built into the formula that I give you guys in the course. And we can warm them up by creating related content. So maybe we do a long form blog post that's about the hidden cost of perfectionism. And then on that blog post, we link them right back to the schedule with me button. Maybe we have some social media posts. So they've read our site and they're like, I don't know, let me stalk this person a little bit. And then they come across our social media and they're like, oh, yeah, that really spoke to me. Yeah, that's my person. I'm booking. And we can also, that's too complex. I'm not going there. So when you use the bot in the course, it helps you get clear on your flow client clear on compelling copy. And then we use what it creates for content marketing to know what our freaking keywords are and to build relationships. So let's play. I'm going to grab, let me stop the share. We're going to share differently. Can I just check in on you guys? Because I am having a lot of fun right now, which may make me out of tune with how y'all are feeling. Are you feeling overwhelmed? Are you feeling like I've got 10 million questions and Amber's going too fast? Are you feeling like this is badass? Show me more of the copywriting bot. Like what's happening in your heads right now? Okay. Bring it. Let me see. Okay. We're good. Okay. Okay. Good. Whew. All right. Now let us grab, I'm going to just grab the copy that we wrote for Tanner about his flow client. Okay. The little snapshot. Okay. I'm so glad that, okay, good. Joan's saying like the examples are super helpful, like doing it in real time. That's great. And we can do as many of these as you want in our coaching call after too. So feel free. All right. Let me share the screen. And we're bizarrely doing good on time. I don't know what's happening. I appreciate it though. Okay. So this is a different bot. This bot has been trained to write actual copy. So I just copied what we have from Tanner, and I'm going to pop it in here and see what ChatGPT does. Now, for some reason, my computer's being a weirdo, but we'll do what we can. I really wanted to give you, in the marketing intensive, I have a PDF that is the format that your specialty page needs to be in. And so typically I would upload that into the bot and be like, okay, take this niche client and turn it into this. And it would write it all for you, but I can't access it. So that's annoying. But that's okay. This allows me to teach. So when we're writing the copy, we want to think about their pain points, the ways in which they suffer. Really specifically, we want to think about their hope points. So how do they want to feel at the end of therapy? And then the bridge copy is the hardest, but how do we help them to get there? Okay. So Tanner, talk to me about how your guy feels on a really rough day. Pop, if you don't mind turning on your mic. And if at any time you're like not wanting to be the center of attention, please just let me know.
No, I feel like the lucky one that I get to be the center of attention.
Oh, good. Good.
On a really rough day, he probably wakes up feeling like aimless, like he's got nowhere to go, nothing to do, lack of energy, lack of motivation.
Okay. And can you give us, it says, give us some examples of what would happen on his day that would trigger these feelings?
Wake up late, he'd stay in bed, waste time, scroll on his phone.
And is there anything, this is me being nosy, it would ask you this later. Is there anything that might have happened the day before or the night before that would have made him more susceptible to this little pattern?
I mean, it could be any sort of trigger for the trauma, or it can be like a relapse into the addiction or a conflict with a friend or relationship.
Okay, well. Oh, Lord. So this is hilarious. It says, holy guacamole. One of the things that I'll teach you to do in the marketing intensive is you can have it read some things that you've written in the past to pull out some of your like Tanner phraseology, things that you would say as part of your normal language. And then when it writes for you, then you can say, can you Tannerify this? And it will go back through and put your little nuances throughout. So holy guacamole is something I say all the time. You're giving us that real life, ugh, this is my day level detail that's going to hit home hard for your flow client. Let's play with a little bit to speak in his language. Here's a rough sketch of what we're working toward just to get your wheels turning. You woke up way later than you meant to. Again, you stare at the ceiling, phone in hand, knowing the day is already slipping away. You promised yourself you'd get things together, get up early, be productive, do something. But the weight in your chest says otherwise. So you scroll, you avoid, you tell yourself you'll figure it out tomorrow. But the shame is loud. Maybe it's left over from that fight last night. Somebody's on. Or the relapse you swore wouldn't happen again. How does that feel for you, Tanner?
Pretty spot on.
Okay. Is there anything that you feel like, that's not really accurate for my person?
No.
Okay. And is there anything in the tone that you know your guy would be like, this is stupid? You know, does it need to hit a different note, or would he read this and be like, oh shit?
No, I think he would read it and go, oh shit.
Okay, awesome. So, cha-ching, that's another one of my words. Hold on, let me fix this. Somebody's mic is on.
Oh, sorry, that's me. I'll turn it.
Okay, great, thank you. Okay, so let's double click into his thought. Into his thought life next? Oh, his thinking. Okay, so when you guys are working on your own, what I do is I come up with like this is my flow client, right? That we did in the flow client bot. And then I make a list. Thoughts, behaviors. Let me write it in the chat. Impulses. Let's do it again. Thoughts, behaviors / impulses. They might be the same thing. They might be different things. Feelings, relationship patterns, any other patterns. Oh, somatic, body sensations. I list these out and I think, okay, what is my guy thinking? What are the thoughts he has? All right. What are the behaviors he has? What are the impulses he has? Because those are sometimes different. What are the relationship patterns that I notice with him? What are the feelings that come up for him? What body sensations would he know that he was experiencing? These are triggers to generate more copy. In the course, you will create all the copy you will ever need for social media, your website, pamphlets, emails, like everything. And it will all be in one organized doc, which is very, very nice. All right, here we go. Now, Tanner, what kind of thoughts are running through his head? Is he thinking things like, I'll never get it together, or what's wrong with me, or I can't be trusted with anything important, or everyone else seems to be moving forward, but I'm just stuck, or something else?
Yeah, those are everyone else seems to be moving forward, but I'm just stuck is a good one.
Okay. And anything else you can think of in terms of thoughts?
I'll never get it together. I'm a failure.
You're doing a great job. And just to fast forward this, what about feelings might come up for him?
Feeling lackadaisical, ashamed, for sure. Bored. Tired.
Apathetic. And are there any, I'm fast forwarding because I want to make sure that we have time to do some other slides. So I am preemptively getting in front of ChatGPT. Any patterns, relationship or otherwise, that are pretty common for him?
Isolation. Pushing people away.
Okay.
Procrastination.
Okay. Let's see what Chatty to the G says about this. This is pure gold. You're painting the exact emotional landscape we need. All right. So here's some more copy. Everyone else is out there making moves, getting promoted, getting engaged, getting it together. And you're stuck, tired, apathetic. It's like you're watching life happen through a screen you can't touch. Most days feel flat, heavy, like the only momentum you've got is towards your bed or your phone. You push people away. Oh, that's so good. Even the ones you care about, because what would they even say if they knew the truth? Oh, that you feel like a failure, that no matter how many times you promise yourself tomorrow will be different, nothing seems to change. How's that feeling?
Yeah, it's getting really good.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to pause there because I want to make sure we get through more slides. But you'll notice like the bot is trained to ask the right question next, because then it's going to write out your whole dang page according to the formula that I give. If we have time in the coaching call, I'll walk you through as much of the formula as I can. Let me go back to the slide deck here. So I'm hoping you guys feel about this little bot the way that previous cohorts have felt when they've been doing their copy. Brittany says, I went part of the way through, very user-friendly and easy to use. This is something I've really been struggling with, and this has helped me gain clarity, loving it. I went through with one flow client, tried a second, gave me a cohesive idea for the homepage, that's challenging. This is amazing, beyond helpful. So I hope you guys feel the same way, because I'm very proud of it. It took a very long time, and I'm pretty pleased. So what's cool? Yeah, dang it. I just want to keep showing you the bot. We'll have time in the coaching call. Okay, remember that we've got some core concepts here so that you don't get overwhelmed. We're doing minimum marketing necessary, which is why we lean into tools like these bots. We're doing low-hanging fruit, which means what feels easiest, we do first, so long as it passes the Pareto principle, which is we need 20% of the effort to yield 80% of the results. Because the reality is 85 to 90% of therapists will never engage in true marketing. So you don't need to get 100% of the results. If we get even 60%, we are doing better than most everybody else. So I think what we should do, I'm just scrolling through here. Let me look at the time. Yeah. What I'm going to do is take a moment to talk about the marketing intensive, because there are a couple super important things that I want to highlight that I haven't highlighted before. Then we're going to go back to teaching. Then we're going to go to the coaching call. Let me ask you something. How are you feeling about the bots? You put it in the chat. I feel like copywriting is the most important skill when it comes to getting someone to pick you. And we are all not natural born writers. And it is hard to remember the structure that the page needs to be in. So anything that makes that easier is a big deal. It goes from something that, when I was working on sales pages for this, I easily spent 60 hours on my sales page that you guys have visited. Easy peasy. With the bot, 5, 6. That's a huge freaking difference. You guys are going to have the exact same experience. But I will admit that I have gotten a little cray-cray with the bots. And so now the bots also will write your blogs. They will also write all of your social media. They will also tell you all of the keywords, all based on your flow client. So we're really talking about cutting work exponentially down. It's a huge, huge advantage. If you could have a bot that helped you to do something in your life better, that is a challenge for you, I'd like to hear about what it is, because I built something special and I can tweak it for you. What I notice most people have trouble with when it comes to marketing is they get overwhelmed with all of the tasks, and then they either don't do anything because they don't know what to do, or they do the first thing on the list, which really isn't important and maybe doesn't even need to be done at all. They get lost in the weeds. Great question, Bev. I will definitely talk about that. So I built a ridiculous bot that is basically it's not going to let me open it. It is. Hold on. That is your, dang it, wise mind bot. It's not going to let me open it. That's very frustrating. So what it does is it takes all of the things you know about yourself and your neurospiciness or your neurovaniliness. You train it on those things, and then you can go to it and say, listen, I got 80 marketing tasks that I think I need to do. I don't feel like doing any of them. Help. And based on you, it will guide you. So the way that mine works, it knows like I really track my hormones. And so it'll say, tell me what day you are in your cycle. It will ask me things like, when did you last do deep work? Because after a deep work day, your girl needs some recovery time. When was the last time you were hyper socializing? Because I need some recovery time. And it will build a plan for me based on what it knows about marketing and also what it knows about me to keep me on track. It has literally told me success stories, like a little story time to help me get motivated. It's helped me use a lot of the principles that I teach in the productivity hacks training. It can definitely help you relax more. It will definitely be able to help you know the best return on your investment time. So I am briefly mentioning it here because I'm giving it to you. It's about a $2,000 value bot, same as a copywriting bot. And I'm giving it to you for free if you decide to join the course and pay in full. So that is your reward if you choose to pay in full. Don't want to pay in full? No big deal. You don't need that bot. It's not necessary to be successful in the course, but it's so cool and it's so fun. All right. Ask me the questions that are burning in your head right now, and it's going to guide which slides we go to right after I talk to you a bit more about what is in the course. So pop in the chat where you're feeling a little bit stumped or where you need a little bit more time. And for those of you who are not interested in the course, just spend your time doing that. Those of you that are, I'm going to share a little bit more about the course here. Okie dokie. So the course, would it be helpful to you if, and here are some of the testimonials. Here's a little QR code if you want to go ahead and grab it. I got my very first, oh, and don't forget social media bonus expires today. Very first full rate cash pay today. I'm on cloud 9. Marie, I got my very first client at my new rate. Magenta says, oh, I've read this one before. I'm not going to read it now. And I want to remind you that this is more doable than you think, whether you do the course or not. You probably only need 2 to 4 new clients a month. That's it. You also don't have to charge premium rates if you don't want to. You could just choose, rather than jumping through a bunch of hoops to get paid $125 an hour with insurance, you could just market to people for $125 an hour. Whatever works best for you. But it is important that you learn to market to at least a few private pay clients, in my very strong, not quite so humble opinion, because I feel like we are in a very weird time economically. I want you, whether you do it through the course or through the free training series or something else, I want you to feel as secure as you can financially. And being able to market to some private pay clients, and these are the people whose income is impacted the least by economic weird shit. These are the folks who can keep your income steady when you start having insurance clients drop out because their income has gone down and they can't even afford a copay. So it's really important to diversify the ways that you're getting paid. And this is one of the paths to doing that, in a path that's more stable than a lot of the alternatives. So this is Maggie. She says, I think my caseload is full. Blink, blink. I got really clear about my flow client and my copy is what did it. I had a few increases in social media that helped with increasing traffic, but mostly it was website SEO and the know, like, and trust with potential clients who finally decided to take the plunge due to clear copy. Love it. Love it. The next steps for you could be that you're joining the marketing intensive. Chantel will drop the link in if you want to join that. It could be that you are upgrading to VIP. There are only 12 spots. That's one-on-one coaching with me. I can tell you more details if you're interested. Or it could be that you just continue in this series and come to the coaching call at the end. This is a QR code if you're wanting to buy. I think we've done enough of the dreaming. I'm going to move past that. Sherry says, Sherry was in VIP. She says, I was just popping in to report that 2 of my newer clients are so flow. Cash pay, and told me that they really liked one of the poems, content marketing, on my website, each mentioning a different one. So you don't even have to write the content. You can just use poems that you like on your website. So she says, if you have some favorite poems, put them on your website. I've even used Spotify playlists because it's just another way to build connection. Saliha says, I want to thank you for everything you've done this summer. I've learned so much from me and everyone in the cohort. And I think it's the best investment I've made in my career, which is pretty cool to hear. I'm going to skip this one. Reminder that this is not correct. This is your Show Up Live freebie. And Chantel, if you can give them the link to their freebie, just in case anybody needs to leave before the coaching call. The marketing intensive is one way. It's just one way to get private pay clients. I said this in an earlier training. I'm going to repeat it now in case you didn't hear it. Whether you do the marketing intensive or something else, what I really want you to look for is that the program you invest in, use this as the structure that I'm talking about: a flow client, getting found through hacks to SEO, like baby SEO, content marketing, and relationship marketing. That's super important. If you're not doing those three things, it's not going to work. And that you are getting picked by compelling copy, making your website easy for them to book, and having good pictures. The pictures actually matter quite a lot. Okay, this is tongue in cheek. These are VIPers who are sharing their experience. You can let me know if you have questions about VIP. Sherry said that she added it because she blah, blah, blah. In addition to the great feedback I got, the asset review deadlines also gave me productivity pushes. Asset reviews are where I literally go through your copy in a video. You get 2 of them during the course if you're in VIP. I take about 30 minutes and go through it on video, recording myself, and then give it to you back so that you can take what you learned from that, apply it not only to that page, but to all the other, for example, specialty pages or pamphlets or scripts or whatever. And it does help people get things done, but it also helps them really make sure that they're doing a great job. Wendy says, I knew I needed an expert to guide me and keep me accountable to do the work. Otherwise, it wouldn't have happened. This is why I always pay for upgrades, because I know I won't do it. She says, I would have taken 4 times as long to figure it out by myself. I can't stress enough to those considering MI, which is the marketing intensive. So worth it. Amber always over delivers, and you'll earn back the money you put in following her guidance pretty quickly. Okay, so you can screenshot if you want to read more of those. We're also happy to send you any of them. If you want to talk to somebody who's been in the program before, we're happy to connect you. It's an investment. So we want to make sure that you feel really, really good about it. We're going to do coaching in just a minute. This is the cool bot that I can't grab the copy for right now because my computer's being weird. This is the best compliment I've ever gotten on the course. And this is just that all you need to do is already templated out for you, and you just color it in with your personality. All the scripts are written for you for your relationship marketing. Your web pages are already structured for you. All you have to do is add in what the copywriting bot wrote for you and zhuzh it up and add more of your personality to it, tweak it. So I've made it as easy as I can, because the reality is that marketing isn't easy, but we do want to make it as easeful as possible. If it were easy, everyone would be doing it and there wouldn't be any private pay clients left. Most people, like 90+%, are never going to do it. So you are already in great company just by having come to this training. You're already ahead of most other people. These are just a few more other people saying good things about the course. I love this one from Magena. I've gotten 4 out of the 5 consultations I've done already, all at my new rate, all my ideal client. I feel like I'm working hard, but not as hard as I thought I would have to. So this pleases me. I feel pleased as punch. I get to live the life that we dreamed of. What she teaches us works. I love it. Okay, more results, more results, more results. Me poking at you a little bit. Are you willing, whether you do it with me, somebody else, on your own, work hard for 6, 12 months, if it means that you get all that freedom that we talked about in session 1? If it means that you get almost a $60,000 a year raise. Here is what's in the course. I'm happy to go through it again, but I also don't want to use time if this isn't useful to you. Could you pop in the chat? Would it be helpful for you to see what is in the course here, or not so much? You feel like, good, I got it. Let me know in the chat. Every single thing, not so much, Sandra says, every single thing that we have touched the top of in this free training, we go deep on so that you actually get to close the loop on it. We've opened a lot of loops in the course. We complete the things. So here is the first 3. It's also on our sales page, so you can look through it more closely there. And let's get to pricing, and then we're going to take a little break before we go into our coaching call. If you want to do standard, here is the price for you if you pay in full. If you want to do VIP, here is the price for you if you pay in full. You save $150 for paying in full with standard and $300 for paying in full with VIP. You also get the insane bot that I talked to you about just a little bit ago that helps you like use your wise mind to actually get things done. And I don't think this early bird discount is right. Is it? Help me, Chantel, please. So you get lots and lots of savings is the point. We meet every Tuesday and Thursday for the first 3 weeks of every month. So you have a little bit of breathing space in between. Thank you so much. Thanks, Chantel. And if you go to purchase, there is a stupid little checkbox that you have to check or will not apply your coupon code. Thank you. Pop the coupon code in there too, please. So make sure you check the box or it won't apply it. Here is our meeting schedule. It is also on the sales page, so don't panic. If you can't, grab it. And I am happy to talk about VIP if it would be helpful to you. Okay. Is there a cap to the number of participants? For standard, for the course itself, no. We usually have 40 to 50 people in the course itself. And then in VIP, there is a cap. That's 12 people only, because I'm one-on-one coaching with you in a walkie-talkie app. And I would not have time to breathe if I was seeing more than 12 people. And then also I review your copy, which is time intensive. The Wise Mind bot, whether you get standard or you get VIP, you get the Wise Mind bot if you pay in full. I wanted everybody who bought to be able to get it if they paid in full. All right, friends, I will see you at our next meeting. Because I'm going out of town, and I will be doing coaching calls while I'm out of town, but I'm not teaching because that's too much for my brain. But I have an email sequence coming out to you. Yay, more emails. But it is 10 ways to get clients in the door fast. So it's hacks. It's not marketing strategy. So it's not going to fill you long-term. But my hope is it gets you enough clients so that you can comfortably afford to buy the marketing intensive and join me over the next 4 months. So pay attention to your mailbox. You'll see those coming soon. All right. Bye, guys.